Hi there everybody, it's Dawn here at Stickletarn. We've had a bit of a traumatic couple of weeks here. It's just been a year of events. Anything that's going to go wrong will go wrong, and it's just not been a good year for us. And personally, I'm now at the point where I will be really glad when we move away from here. Which hopefully will be in a year's time. I'm hoping in a year's time I'll be showing you around a new small holding. But anyway, in the meantime, let me just update you. The other month I mentioned in a video about Mia, our dog, being hit by a car on our driveway. Some people who were going to visit our neighbours over there, and the neighbours over there have right of access down our driveway. A mistake we will never make again. Wherever we buy next, it will not be a driveway that anybody else can use but us. We've learnt that lesson. Anyway, these people were coming down the drive, and as I'd mentioned, they had actually run into Mia. I was walking down the drive with the three dogs. I'd been up there doing some pothole repairs, and they denied it, saying that they hadn't hit her. And then the whole thing blew up into a big sort of circus, and the woman claimed I assaulted her by dropping her phone and making it look like she'd fallen, and screaming at the same time, "Oh look, she's assaulting me, she's assaulting me." And I've been charged with assault, by the way, by the police. And then they phoned up the neighbours from over there, who came up, and they were all screaming and shouting. Then they were all laughing about it, etc. And the other neighbour, who I thought was our friend, was called up as a witness to it all. Anyway, yeah, Mia had she'd been hit in the back legs, and Mia was 14, been hit in the back legs by this car. Anyway, we thought initially Mia was okay. She was limping a bit over the next few days, but then she'd started to develop a very stiff gait, and then over the next few weeks she started to develop tremors in her back legs, and she'd have difficulty sitting down, getting up, and it was all the trauma. It was spinal neurological trauma caused by this car hitting her. The police decided that this woman and her partner were not to be prosecuted for causing injury, and this woman blasted out all over TikTok and everywhere, what an awful person I was, and she was trying to raise funds to bring out a private prosecution against me. And I had people from all over the world saying that my dogs were dangerous dogs, etc., and all of that carry on. Anyway, I ended up being charged by the police for assault, which I didn't do. On the day that I was charged, I had to go down the police station, have my official warning, etc., and sign a document to say I won't be a naughty girl again and all this. They wanted me to write her an apology, a letter of apology, which I've refused to do. I will not do it. Anyway, that I thought was the whole matter over and done with. And then that was on the Tuesday morning, And even though I'd said to the police officer about the injuries Mia had sustained and how her well-being was affected and her mobility was affected, and that they weren't interested. That night we went to bed. I was woken at 2:30 in the morning, went downstairs, and Mia was having a full-blown seizure. This is 2 weeks ago now, and I thought I was over it. She was having a full-blown seizure. She was bleeding from her nose and her mouth. She'd vomited everywhere. She'd soiled herself. Everything. She'd lost control of her bladder and her bowels and that. She couldn't get to her feet. She was howling and crying, and I shouted for Martin. Sorry, excuse me a minute. And Martin came downstairs, and we managed to, between us, get her up onto her feet because she was trying to scrabble into a corner, and we moved her to more of a place of safety than where she was because things were starting to fall off shelves. And I found the vets, so this was about 2:30 in the morning. And we took, we'd arranged to take her straight down to the vets, and I knew at that point she wouldn't be coming back with us. When Martin picked her up to put her in the car, she screamed. She just screamed and screamed and screamed. She was in so much pain with her legs and her back. And it was just awful screaming, awful. And it was at 3:00 in the morning, and it was just like something out of a horror film. And we got her down to the vets, and she was cowering in the corner of the back seat of the car. And Martin went in and had a chat with the vet and did some paperwork, etc. And when they came out, because we'd already said we knew she wouldn't be coming home, that this was the end. And they let me stand there with the door open on the car. We didn't want her lifted out the car. And I'm just cradling her head. And she'd actually calmed down, and her breathing was becoming more settled. And that's when they put her to sleep. So she passed away in my arms, at peace, totally loved by us all. And it's all of them people's faults. They are to blame for what they did to my dog. I know she was 14, I know she was old, but she was a very good 14-year-old and a very active 14-year-old, right up until the day, a couple of months ago, when she had that accident. So we came home. And Poppy, of course, was she'd buddied up with Mia right from the day we brought Poppy home. And because Poppy couldn't see properly and Mia was white-coloured, she could follow Mia around, and she learnt a lot from Mia. And she kept running backwards and forwards when we got home looking for Mia, and it was just heartbreaking to see her like that. So the following day, it was a nice sunny day, the Wednesday, and we'd picked out a spot to bury her, and we took her up there, and we took Poppy and Paige up as well, and they both had a good sniff around Mia before we buried her, and then they both just lay there and watched. And so at least they knew where she'd gone and what had happened. So I'll never forgive them, never ever forgive them, for laughing at my dog when they hit her. That's what gets me, that they laughed at her. Anyway, So that's been this week. All right, pulled myself together a bit. Right, yeah. So that was 2 weeks ago. That all happened, and it just knocked me for six. It's been a real time of adjustment for Poppy. She's actually found it quite difficult without Mia around, but just this past few days she's starting to find her feet again. Yeah, she'll be fine. She'll be fine. And she's starting to buddy up a bit with Paige, although Paige's mobility isn't brilliant, and I don't know if Paige will be with us really for much longer. I don't know if we'll have her through this winter, and I doubt very much she'll still be around when we come to move. Yeah, so that was sort of quite a. It's just, I don't know. The past few months, it's just been one thing after another. Of course, there was that incident with Mia when they'd run into her with the car, and then I'd been charged with assault, and of course then we've lost Mia, and then we had the other neighbour cut our trees down because she wanted to bring in a static caravan that was too big to come down the drive. And so she just cut the trees down without asking. And these are people who we live right beside. And of course, this is why all of this sort of together is why we've decided, that we're going to give up this small holding and find another one somewhere. There is another reason as well, which is causing us quite a lot of stress. And that is Martin's health isn't good. I don't want to go into detail of what's going on, but every day is a real struggle. So of course the buffalo are all going. We're making inquiries about, the whole herd going now. The girls are just starting to calve. We had a calf born. It was actually born the day before Mia got put to sleep. And it's a little girl as well. So anyway, yeah. So we'll be making inquiries about the whole herd going. I don't want to go into details of Martin's health yet because we still don't know what's going on. He's been undergoing so many tests. Some days he's really, really struggling here to get anything done. And of course we're still trying to run the scaffolding business because we need the income coming in, and everything's just falling into disrepair. It's so there's a weird shaped cloud in it behind me there, and it's like every day we get up and we just think, we're just really struggling, struggle, everything's just a struggle. And of course when you're battling with neighbours as well, that just adds to the struggle, the mental struggle of it all. So I put a shout out on a group for someone to come and help us and it's a group where people who are looking maybe to set up with their caravan or their van or their tent or whatever for a short while in return for working. So I put a shout out on this group saying that I was looking for somebody to come and help us out. And I had a gentleman come out to see me on Saturday, very nice gentleman, and next week he should be coming up here with his caravan, and he should be with us for a good long while, which means I can get caught up on lots and lots of things around here. Things like fencing and logging, getting polytunnels cleaned down, getting all the weeding done, getting the fields all cut. There's all sorts to be done, repairs to the animal housing and things that I struggle with doing on my own. And as you all know, I had my health problems, and You know, I'm still recovering from that, and I'm still having days where a leak has developed again. And I'm trying to do farmers markets to sell the meat on, and I've been doing meat deliveries and, you know, promoting it, and it's just constant having to go at it all. And it is just wearing us down. So anyway, we've got this gentleman coming, hopefully, fingers crossed. I'm not saying his name or nothing, because it's, you know, his life is personal and private to him. And it's going to be a great help when he gets here. You know, just catching up on everything. You know, I come out here some days and I just look around, and I'm making mental lists, which I then write down, of all the things I've got to be done. And this list starts with a few things, and then it's pages of things that's got to be done. We're coming into the time now where it's hedge trimming time, and I'm still harvesting. I'm still trying to get food preserved. You know, I'm standing here looking at the blueberry bushes that are weighed down with fruit, and I have picked loads, and I just sort of think, oh, the rest is just going to have to go to waste. I just can't get around to it. There's too many other things to do. So I'm hoping things are going to improve from here on in. I do get off the farm for a couple of hours once a week, when I go and meet up with some crafters for a few hours once a week. So, and that is sort of for my mental health. So I've been trying to do the Every Bit Counts challenge, and I did it sort of for the first few weeks, and then all this happened with me, and it just sort of knocked me off kilter. I have been preserving lots, I've just not bothered uploading the video.